Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Megan Gogerty, playwright and actress who is debuting a new one-woman show at Riverside Theatre coming up on September 9th. Welcome.
Well, thanks, Dennis.
We still are in that phase where it's like, people are coming in who I haven't seen in person since before the pandemic. So,
I know, every day is
so
like
how
a
was
high
your
school...
How was your pandemic?
It was, it was better than some, I think. I survived it, happy to do that. I still am masking everywhere in grocery stores because I'm so paranoid I'm going to get it before my show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the show is called Chipmunk'd.
Yeah.
And so in the press release, the show is called Chipmunk'd, and then the next sentence it says, "A tale of love and sex."
Well.
So to start with, a little frightened.
Oh, good, Dennis. That'll be good.
which I think is the proper mindset for coming to a Megan Gogerty show.
It's true. Well, listen, I wanted to let everybody know, this is not a rated X show. It's very much a rated R show. There's nothing in it that you wouldn't see on like a network television show at 9 p.m. Do you know what I mean? Like, think of the raciest episode of like ER back in the day, and that's as racy as it gets. But I like to let people know that because I have such a wholesome face that people sort of mistake me for a children's television host a lot of the time. And sometimes they'll bring their little children to my shows, which some shows is like, great, bring your kids, like wonderful. But there are other shows that maybe the 7-year-old could stay, get a babysitter and stay home for. And this is a show that is at least PG-13, if not rated R.
So begins with getting bitten by a chipmunk.
Yeah. So the whole play is about how the character that I play, conveniently named Megan Gogerty, experiences a series of calamities that just kind of getting increasingly more absurd and also more dramatic. And the first calamity is I get bit by a chipmunk in my backyard. Which is very stupid. That's a stupid thing to do. Chipmunks don't usually bite people, but this one bit me. And it kicks off this really ridiculous trip to the hospital because no one could decide whether chipmunks had rabies or not. And there was also like a rabies shortage of like the rabies medicine. There was a shortage at the time. So it was just sort of this comedy of errors. That I kick off the play with. And then the chipmunk then becomes a metaphor for chaos.
Chipmunk as metaphor.
Yes, that's right.
When did the writing happen?
Well, I started writing it just about a year ago, in the fall of
so
2021.
So as we were coming out of the pandemic, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a post-pandemic tale.
Yeah, well, it really is, I think, a real reflection of where a lot of folks are, because the overarching question of the play is how do we deal with our unknown fate, right? Like dread, this feeling of dread, this feeling of we don't know what's going to happen around the corner, like we don't know when disaster is going to strike. I think that's a feeling that a lot of people know firsthand through the pandemic. They know what that is. But Dennis, it was also really important to me. I wanted to explore that feeling, but I also really wanted to make it funny. And so I have thrown everything, all my comic impulses at this show. I want to give this audience huge laughs. Because the other thing that we're all coming out of the pandemic is that we all really need a laugh. At least I do. And I want to give that to my audience. So it is absolutely telling the truth about this existential crisis that I think everybody's having of like, I survived, but how, and will I survive the next thing? And what's this about monkeypox? And do I need to worry about it? And just sort of these looming threats of the unknown leavened with as many jokes as I can pack into 80 minutes.
Well, and talk about the existential dread. I mean, that is something that we deal with, on a minute-by-minute basis.
Yeah.
Did I walk past the wrong person in the hallway? I didn't mask when I walked into the convenience store. Is that what tips it?
Yeah, that's right. And that sort of feeling, that being in an eternal crouch. The other thing about this play that I think is fun, and this is where the sex comes in, is that this play is about what it feels like to be inside a body. So it's very much an embodied play. If a play it's about the pleasures of the body, but also the pain of the body and the discomfort of being in a body, right? So there's a big chunk of the play I talk about what it's like to break a bone. And it's not in a squirmy way, but just sort of like the reality of how uncomfortable that is, and also how boring it is to just sit around because you can't walk around because you broke your leg. And just sort of like, it's a very embodied story, which makes it really fun in a lot of ways. Dennis, we have so many delightful surprises in store for this play. In some ways, this play, Chipmunk'd, is a return to form for me, in that I'm playing a character named Megan Gogerty, and it's a comedy, and I'm going to make you feel things. And in some ways, right, that. But in other ways, my director, Saffron Henke, is really pushing me in exciting ways, and we are really pushing the envelope. There's a lot of tech, there's a lot of like sound, there's a lot of surprises in the play. It's a full body experience for the audience. I think I can't wait. I'm really eager.
This play, as you just said, reunites you with Saffron Henke, who's directed you several times. Actually, in your last two things, right?
Yeah.
Feast and Lady Macbeth and her best pal Megan.
Yes.
So, and I've asked you this before, but I just continue to be, very interested in what the director brings to a show that is written by you, conceptualized by you, based loosely on your life, and starring you.
Well, it's the most thankless job. It is absolutely the most thankless job, is to direct one of my plays, because you'll never get the credit that you deserve. And Saffron deserves so much credit. One of the real privileges of my life is that, unlike other playwrights, when they get paired with a director, they get maybe just a handful of conversations before they're in rehearsals. And they really have to trust that the director gets the play right away. And if they don't, well, too bad. But Saffron and I, we get to collaborate early on. Saffron was the first person I showed this play to when I did my first draft last fall. And she has been with me every step of the way. We have been in conversation between Saffron and Chris Rich, the designer who conveniently is married to me. The three of us have been in constant conversation about this play. So it's been a true collaboration. So by the time she came to the table with these ideas, she's like, this is what I want to do. I want to plant this surprise, and I want to stage it this way. In some ways, I was like, oh, that's nothing I've ever done before, and I don't know how that's going to work. But I trust that you know this play, and that you know me, you know what I can do and what I can't do. And I got to say, Dennis, her work on Chipmunk'd is exemplary. I mean, she's never going to get the credit that she deserves, but her direction on this show is fantastic.
And you mentioned Chris, who's doing all the technical direction on this, and of course, who is also your husband.
Poor Chris.
So again, you talk about, Saffron's been on this from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So has Chris. When do you show? You said Saffron was the first person you showed the play to. When does Chris get to see it?
Well, he was right up in there. I showed them both at the same time. And he knew, he, in addition to being the designer and the tech director, he's also featured in the play as my husband, and he also has some pre-recorded lines. So he is a character in the play, and I tell some stories. Now, it's semi-autobiographical, which means everything in the play is true, and some of it actually happened. But it is true. I use his name. His name is Chris. He's in the play. And I would ask him as I was writing it, like, look, I'm going to tell this pretty intimate story about the two of us. Is that okay with you? Like, are you going to be all right that I'm telling this? And he'd be like, it's fine. It's okay. I knew who I married when I married you. So I was like, okay, but I kept giving him opportunities to back out. I even asked him, I was like, do you want to play yourself? Because I got a lot of good actor friends. They'd be happy to play you. And he's like, no, I got it. I'm gonna show up for it. So he is all over this play because he is absolutely my creative partner and my life partner.
Did he ever say, but wait, that's not what I said?
No. Amazingly, he never did. Well, one thing is I make him look really good in this play.
So he's hardly going to complain about someone who has the good taste to cast him as the hero.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He comes off. In fact, his signature complaint in the play is that I make myself look a lot smaller and meaner than I am in life, and I make him look more wonderful than he thinks he is. But too bad. It's my play. I can do what I want.
The play is Chipmunk'd, opening September 9th at Riverside Theatre in the brand new space. What do you think of the brand new space?
Oh, I'm so excited about the space. And can I just say one thing about that space? Riverside had this huge $1.8 million build of this brand new theater downtown in Iowa City. And one of the things that people don't know about it that I think is really great is they have installed this UV filtration system in all of the air handling ducts that clean germs and viruses out of the recycled air. And it cost them more money than a regular, HVAC system would. But they put that investment in because they want our audience to feel really comfortable and as safe as they can gathering. And I just think that is such a testament to the vision of Adam Knight, our artistic director. I just love Riverside Theatre, and I really am so proud to be a member of that community.
I'm so excited to see the show. Looking forward to it. I know you've got at least one talkback scheduled, yes. About middle of the run, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the second Sunday of the run. I think it's the 24th. No, I made that up.
Maybe 18th.
The 18th. Yeah. Dennis, you know my life better than I do.
I have a script.
That's what I've been doing wrong.
Unlike you make the script up afterwards. I get it on the front side, so I have the advantage.
Great.
Always great to talk to you. The play is Chipmunk'd. It runs November 9th through the
October 2nd.
Through October 2nd at Riverside Theatre. If you have not been to the new space, it is definitely a must-see.
Gorgeous.
Thank you for coming in. So great to see you, and I'm so excited that you've got another new piece coming up, and best of luck for the run.
Thank you.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:20, or download the podcast. Watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture, or however you get your podcasts. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.